Alexis Nunes alongside Rob Dawson, one of our top Manchester correspondents. Rob, I know you've been writing away about Manchester United specifically, and we all know the rebuild that's trying to go on right now and whether or not certain players will be a part of it or not from as early as this transfer window. What exactly are you hearing, and which players probably could be at risk of being offloaded?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, there is a rebuild going on at Manchester United at the moment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen to use the summer to bridge that gap with Man City. There will be players coming in, and with that, there'll be players going out as well. And we're told that the agents and intermediaries who have inquired about the availability of some players, the likes of Anthony Martial, Donny van de Beek, have been told that every player has a valuation, and if that is met, the club would seriously consider that. You talk about someone like Donny van de Beek, and obviously his first season was tough at Old Trafford after his move from Ajax, and he didn't play as many games as perhaps he would have wanted. We're told that he would like to stay and fight for his place. So ultimately, if the choice was down to him, the likelihood is that he would stay. Anthony Martial is a little bit of a different case because you've got a situation where possibly Jadon Sancho is coming in, and the competition up front at Man United is already quite strong with the number of players they've got. You add in someone like Jadon Sancho who would come in and be a first team regular almost straight away, that the competition again is increased. So there may be a situation where he will look at that and think that he may be better off somewhere else. The counterpoint to this is, and we've talked about this on different videos in the past, that there isn't a lot of money in the transfer market at the moment, and these players would command quite a large fee. It remains to be seen whether a club can come up with the money that would make United consider moving these players on. Chances are that at the moment, as things stand, they will probably stay.
All right, well, with that said then, let's just stick a pin on, of course, Tony Martial as well as Donny van de Beek. Van de Beek is the one that always breaks my heart, wondering, because the world knows he is a quality player, and I know you said that he seems to be willing to stay and fight for his place there. Whereas for Tony Martial, you get the feeling that player, club, and even the supporters kind of feel like it is probably time for him to move on. But for Donny van de Beek, do you think that is wise? Then do you think that he does have a future at Man United as it stands?
I do, personally, I do. I think it's still a little bit early perhaps to judge Donny van de Beek, because clearly he's a very, very good footballer. He perhaps didn't get the chances to show that last season. It can be tough for players coming in from different countries to show that straight away in the Premier League, because it can be so quick and physical. I know that there is faith from the United coaching staff that he can turn things around. He certainly has faith in himself, and when it came down to it in January, there were inquiries about perhaps moving on in January to get more games ahead of the European Championships. He said no, that he wanted to stay and fight for his place, and that tells you a little bit about his mentality. And we're hearing the same thing this summer, that if it was down to him, that he would choose to stay and fight for his place and show everyone how good he is. Obviously, that decision may be taken out of his hands. If a club comes in with a huge bid that United can't turn down, then he's left with a decision about whether he stays or goes. Personally, I would like him to stay. I don't think that he's had enough chances to show what a good player he is. And we're talking about only a sort of a year into his United career. Perhaps sort of in a year's time it is a better time to judge how well he's doing.
And then finally, if we're going to talk about fringe players, Rob, I have to throw in my boy Jesse Lingard, because of course the time has come to talk about him. And we know that he's not a spring chicken. He's not the age of Donny van de Beek, but it is really hard to ignore exactly what he did at West Ham, towards the end of last season. And now that he seems to be hovering to come back in the Man United fold, do you feel like there's a place for him in this rebuild?
Again, personally, yes. I think there should be, given what he did at West Ham, that if he'd done that for a different club and he wasn't associated with Man United would probably be looking at him as someone that may be worthy of coming in. The good news for them is that he's already their player. What I would say about Jesse is that he is determined to play. You mentioned his age there. He's 28 years old. He's at a stage of his career where he feels he has to be playing every week. Clearly, he wasn't at the start of last season. In January, there was a chance for him to move on loan. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer initially said that he didn't want him to go, and Jesse, not demanded is probably too strong a word, but argued that he should be allowed to go, and eventually won. He went to West Ham and showed everyone how good a player he is, and almost got into the Euro 2020 England squad, which shows you how well he did. The problem United have got with Jesse Lingard is that he's only got a year left on his contract. In a year's time, without fresh terms being agreed, he can leave for free, and United would be loath to do that because he's someone that's come through their academy. They've invested a lot in him. So United's choices really are to either to offer him a new contract or to leave him for a year and see if he can break back into the team, or sell him this summer and get a fee. As I say, the one thing that Jesse Lingard would want to do is play games. That's the most important thing to him. It's not about money. It's not about a massive new contract with a massive pay rise. He just wants to play games, and he will pick the club where he's going to be able to do that.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.